Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, Periscope. Invite your followers and your networks. Hi, everyone. How are you? This is Sparkle Smith. I am a writer. I help you and those you serve through writing and education. Thank you. I'm so glad for you to be joining me this evening. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to come in and join me. And thank each and every one of you. For some reason, I'm not able to see. Okay, that's better. I'm able to see the comments now. Thank each and every one of you for coming in. Invite your followers and your networks. Again, I'm Sparkle Smith. I am a writer, and I help you and those you serve through writing and education. So today we're going to talk about let's do it together. So you may be wondering what I mean. So let's do something together that you may be afraid to do by yourself. Let's plan some things together, some things that you have a spirit of procrastination with normally. Sometimes that's goal setting. Sometimes that's doing something that you want to do but you're afraid to do it. And I want to point out with you today that if you begin to manage your day, you can manage your life. If you can get through one thing at a time, especially in goal setting, we get overwhelmed because we see the whole big picture and we want to tackle it all at once, and we get discouraged and sometimes we give up. But if you focus on the first part of the goal and try to master that, then it won't be so intimidating later on. And if you begin to practice good habits, then that'll give you your boost, your confidence. Somebody say confidence. And so I want to let you know that if you can manage your day, you can manage your life, and I'm here to help you to do that. So victory begins in the mind. So there is a verse of scripture, Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, my brethren, whatsoever is true, whatsoever is honest, things whatsoever is pure, lovely, good report. Think on these things," right? So no matter what comes your way or what's in your day, whether it's discouragement, oppositions, negativity, someone else trying to be negative, you have to always guard your mind and say, regardless of whatsoever is going on, I'm going to think on good things. I'm going to think on what's praiseworthy. I'm not going to let the toxicity get to me, because sometimes what happens with procrastination, we go into a mode, we get afraid, we don't want to deal with the task because we're around toxic people. We're around a toxic environment, and we just give in to stuff we shouldn't do. Comfort food, addictive behaviors, which is kind of, we feel like a coping mechanism or comfort zone. Well, Dr. Cindy Trim had tweeted that sometimes our comfort zones aren't our safety zones. They appear to be, but actually it's a smoke screen for a slow destruction. For example, if we have a goal, we want to lose weight, for example. Everybody is into that goal, right? Or some point in your life, you know someone who wants to lose weight. And they say, okay, I got to do this for my health, for myself, to feel good. Just, it's important to do. And just to change my lifestyle. So they have this goal to do that. And then they get some discouraging news. Now they're depressed. So now they say, forget it, forget this goal, blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to eat. And then after a while, the pounds pack on. They're going to the doctor. And now they're in more debt because they have to spend money on medication, which they could have avoided by just conquering the situation. A lot of times our emotions, which are healthy things, they can sometimes get us in trouble if we don't know how to express them, or to be able to embrace those emotions and express how we really feel in that moment, instead of doing something to suppress or numb how we feel. And a good way to do that is by pen and paper. As I said before, welcome everyone for coming in on the broadcast. I'm Sparkle Smith. I'm a writer. I help you and those you serve through writing and education. And I'm talking about victory begins in your mind, setting the atmosphere of your mind, keeping it set regardless of what comes your way. And in that process, a good way to do that is to write things down. And you may say, well, I don't have time. You can make time. 2 minutes, you'd be surprised how long 2 minutes is really. For example, I have an alarm system, right? When I put that alarm system on, it takes about 2 minutes for it to actually synchronize and be set. And I'll sit there and watch the alarm for those 2 minutes. I'm like, man, this is a long time. You know, every second and every minute is a very long time. And depending on how we spend our time, is very imperative and invested in ourselves. Making time for ourselves. You are worth it, okay? And so sometimes you may say, well, I don't know how to express my feelings. I don't know how to express my thoughts. Well, start with a notepad and a pen. Well, I don't know what to say. Well, think of the first thing that comes to your mind. And you don't have to write an eloquent sentence or essay. You can just say how I'm feeling like right now. For example, if you're frustrated, you can write down the date, frustrated. If you're hurt, if you're lonely, if you're excited or happy about something, yay, something happened that was a milestone, or you had a victory, or you got a bonus, or one of your loved ones, your favorite loved ones is coming to town, or relatives, or girlfriend, you're going to a girls' night out, or something happened that was very good for you, a great accomplishment. You're happy about that, right? So write those feelings down. When you're upset about something, we definitely need to process those things, because sometimes when we're feeling good about something, that really doesn't put us in a bad mode. But when we're feeling bad about something, we really don't want to deal with those feelings. But the best way is just start with an adjective and write those things down, and then maybe come back to it later. Okay, I was feeling this way, but I'm feeling better. And regardless of how I'm feeling, I'm going to heal from this. I'm going to get from there to my goal, and I'm not going to get discouraged because of the negative feelings that I'm experiencing right now, right? And so there was another tweet today that indicated there's life and death, power of life and death in the tongue, right? So Dr. Trimmer indicated to say and to decree and declare, I am strong, I am kind, I am wise. Thank you for those hearts. I'm Sparkle Smith, writer. I teach you and those you serve how to heal through writing and education. And so I am strong, I'm wise, I'm bold, I'm blessed, I'm favored, I'm thankful, I'm honored, I am successful, I am prosperous, I am creative, I am strategic, I am gifted, I am loved, I am celebrated, I am respected. And you can turn that around for yourself and decree that you are strong, you are kind, you are wise, you are bold, you're favored, you're blessed, you're thankful, you're strong, you are honored, you're a very honorable person, you're thankful, you're successful, you're prosperous, you're creative, you are strategic, you are gifted, you're loved, you are celebrated, and you are respected. And even if you don't feel that way, and regardless of how you feel, keep confessing these things every single day of your life, and I guarantee you, regardless of what comes your way, you'll bulldoze through that opposition, and you'll set the pace, and you'll set the atmosphere, and pretty soon those things won't even damage how you feel, because of what you're declaring out of your mouth. Your heart is going to change, your atmosphere, your mindset is going to change into what you are speaking about yourself. And oftentimes we are all these things that I name, but we just don't feel like it. So we take it upon ourselves not to accept that we are strong, kind, wise, bold, and etc. However, it is very imperative, it is very important that you always believe that you are those things. And even if you've never felt you've been honored, you can go back in your life and look at, okay, I was honored in some kind of way. Well, I got some kind of award when I was in college. I got some type of hats off when I was a teacher. And it may have been years ago, but at least it happened, right? And so don't be afraid to decree, even if you don't see it or if you haven't seen it in years, decree that it will come. Stand on it. You know, it takes 21 days to form a good habit, right? So each and every day, you're strong, you're wise, you're bold, you're favored, you're blessed, you're thankful. How many can agree to that? That your words can change the trajectory of your atmosphere just by what you're saying over and over and over and over and over again. It's like ammunition, you know. actual, not physical ammunition, but ammunition to any negativity, negative thoughts. Don't process, don't internalize it. I'm a failure. This is a waste. I'll never get to where I'm trying to go. No, we don't receive that. Now, learn from your mistake. How did I fail? How can I change this? How can I turn this around? How can I go to victory? Well, victory, of course, starts in the mind. And in the mind, it starts with the thoughts that you think of yourself. Okay? Be kind to you. Forgive yourself. You forgive others, forgive yourself, because you're in it with you. You have to do this with you if nobody's around you. You know, the title of this scope was Let's Do It Together. Well, you sometimes have to be your own best friend if no one else is around. The Bible says David encouraged himself in the Lord. You have to sometimes encourage yourself and know that, you know, you are strong, you are kind, you are bold, you are blessed, you are honorable. You have strong value and self-worth. And so a lot of our planning, you know, whether it's to start a business, whether it's to start a family, whether it's to lose weight, whatever desired goal that we want, we have to have a certain mindset, and we have to stick with that mindset. You know, we can't just fall off the wagon with our mindset. We have to be firm and strong and consistent until we finish our goal. But in order to do that, it takes practice. I want to say practice. It takes you making up in your mind, okay, well, I didn't do everything I needed to do today, but I'm still going to confess. I am an overcomer. I am an achiever. I will do this. I deeply love and accept myself. You know, regardless of how the world is treating you, you have to be kind to yourself. Regardless of how I'm being treated on the outside, I'm not going to internalize what's going on outside of my sphere of influence, outside of my atmosphere. I am strong. I am wise. I am honorable. I will get the job done. I will have a successful business. I will have a successful life. I will be healed in my emotions. I will process those things, and I will make a conscious effort to plan it. If I only have 5 to 10 minutes a day to do it, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get it done. And so, again, I'm Sparkle Smith. Thank each and every one of you for coming in. Invite your followers in your networks. Thank you all for tapping those hearts, who tapped those hearts. I am Sparkle Smith. I'm a writer. I teach you and those you serve through writing and education. And so I teach you how to plan, how to heal. And so if you click on the link on my bio, you will get information emailed to you in regards to a webinar that's coming up. And so you may say, well, why am I doing a webinar? Thank you all for coming in. Invite your followers in your networks. I so appreciate you coming in. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to come and join in. And so I'm talking today about victory begins in the mind. I'm a writer, and I teach you and those you serve through writing and education. And so I shared, if you click on the link on my bio, you'll receive an invite through email to a webinar that I'm having about planning to heal through writing. Why? You may say, well, do I have a webinar? Well, in this platform, we're talking, we're engaged with one another, right? But in a webinar, sometimes when we talk throughout the week or whatever, and we have scopes, you know, the audience is engaged, you guys are engaged, and I very much appreciate that. But I know some of you don't really express how you feel. You may have been thinking in your mind, okay, this information sounds good. I need to stop procrastinating. I need to plan. I need to plan to heal. However, you really haven't put it into action. But in a webinar setting, you know, we can all talk amongst ourselves. It's an atmosphere where, okay, if you have not got the planner that you needed to get, or any planner, you go to the dollar store and get a planner and a pen and a notebook and start writing down your feelings, writing down the adjectives of how you feel. That's the start of planning, right? Because victory starts in the mind, processing those negative emotions, getting those processed out so you can shift your atmosphere to a healthy, positive atmosphere where you're decreeing and declaring good things about yourself. And so a webinar, I'm going to teach you those things: how to plan, how to heal, writing, what kind of planning you need to do to write, how to start off if you're stuck in writing. Well, I'm not a good writer. I'm not a good essay writer. It's not even about essay. It's just about expressing your emotions and starting off with adjectives and then putting those into sentences in order to express how you feel, to come head to head and talk. Thank you for those hearts. Who's ever's tapping those hearts? I appreciate it. I'm Sparkle Smith. I'm a writer. I teach you and those you serve through writing and education. So in a webinar, if you click on the link in my bio, you can sign up for the webinar. In the webinar, I'm going to teach you, how to not be afraid of your emotions, how not to be afraid of how you feel, negative or positive. Because sometimes we drown ourselves in negative emotions. We feel like, okay, well, when I get a good compliment from someone, or I get a good accolade, or I get a good emotion, or I get praise or honor, this is foreign to me. I don't know how to feel this, so I'm just going to shove it down because, I believe these lies that set a foundation that says I'm only supposed to feel rejected. I'm only supposed to feel hurt. So it's important that we assess our emotions, the root of it, where it's coming from, the negative lie that we believed about it, and then in turn, get rid of it. Have a conversation, have a dialogue. Okay, fear, hurt, frustration, rejection. You've lived in me too long. I felt you at one time in my life, but now I have to let the relationship go so I can be healthy, so I can be healed, so I can be all those things that I want to be, so I can express my emotions in a healthy way, so that I can have victory in my mind, so that I can have the confidence that I need to plan my day and plan my life and accomplish those goals that I desire to accomplish. So again, we're going to do all of those things in the webinar, and you can, I'll give you feedback. You can write some questions down that you may have. Even get those questions started now before the webinar. And then, if you're having a writer's block about just writing about how you feel, we can discuss that in the webinar. And so, thank you for coming in. Invite your followers and your networks. I'm Sparkle Smith, writer. I teach you and those you serve through writing and educating. And so I was just sharing with everyone that victory starts in the mind, and it's okay to come to terms with your emotions, not be afraid of your emotions, good or bad. It's okay to want to understand how to process those emotions and filter those negative emotions once it's run its course. For example, grief is important, especially if you've lost a loved one, okay? You can't just stuff that down, because then you'll be acting out in negative ways, and then that situation can eat at you. So it's important to grieve and understand the grieving process, right? Starting by how you feel about it, releasing any guilt and any shame from the situation, understanding who you are, expressing who you are, coming to terms with that and letting that thing process so it don't wreck your life, right? So you can grieve properly, and you can process it and filter those things out properly and move on to your next season of victory and your next level, right? So oftentimes we don't know how to feel, or we don't know how to express our feelings in a healthy way, or come to terms with those things and have control over our destiny. So it's very important. And if you click on the link on my bio, you will get information emailed to you about a webinar that I have coming up called Planning to Heal. We're going to do writing. And again, why am I doing a webinar? Because with the webinar atmosphere, it's a community where we're all participating. I'm going to give you instructions to have a notepad and a pen, or a paper and a pen. And it's going to be all about you. So think of it as some me time that you well deserve and is long overdue. And this is my time. It's a free webinar. This is going to be about me, understanding who I am, processing my feelings, processing my emotions, being able to express who I am in a healthy and positive way, being able to filter some emotions. Why do I feel this way? What the root cause of it is, and why am I feeling false burdens or overburdened or overwhelmed, and releasing those things, replacing them with a healthy emotions and expression of yourself, and in an atmosphere where you're declaring good, positive things about yourself. Regardless of whether you see it at this point in your life or not, you have to see it in your imagination before you can actually see it manifest and come to pass, right? A person who wants to go to school and get a degree, They have to see it in their mind. I will get this degree. Nothing will stop me. If I have to take a semester off or take one class at a time, I'm going to do it. I'm going to get it done. I see myself walking across the stage with the cap and gown, and I'm not going to let anything stop me. There may be oppositions or roadblocks, but I'm going to filter those negative emotions. I'm going to set the tone and atmosphere, and eventually that's going to manifest, right? And that was one of the goals I had years ago, and it actually did come to pass. And there was a lot of opposition. I mean, just opposition that was unwarranted. Like, I completed all my classes, and almost toward the end of graduation, one of the advisors said, well, you didn't complete this class. And I said, that was never a requirement. And, you know, they contest, yes, it was. No, it wasn't. And then they come to find out that that was something that they added that was a requirement after later on, which meant that I didn't have to take it. So it was some type of error. And so, you know, practice makes perfect. We have to practice and be intentional about changing our world and practicing good things. It takes 21 days to make a good habit. Thank everyone for joining. Invite your followers on your networks. I so appreciate you coming in. I'm Sparkle Smith. I'm a writer. I teach you and those you serve through writing and education. Thank you so much for those hearts. I appreciate you. If you click on the link in my bio, I will send you an email for a free invitation for a free webinar that's coming up. It's called Planning to Heal. And I'm going to help you. It's actually, just think of it as me time for yourself. And I'm so proud of you. If you sign up, that means that you're getting the courage to come to terms and understand you and the better you, understanding your negative emotions, understanding your positive emotions, how to filter those negative emotions, how to build up those positive emotions and bring balance into your atmosphere, and begin to get a habit of a balanced atmosphere with positive emotions and victory in your mind, and having that mindset and keeping that mindset regardless of what comes your way, regardless of the opposition. Be determined to have victory in your mind. Be determined to decree and declare. There's power in your words. A judge, there's power in the words of a judge. When he decrees and declares, this shall happen, this shall happen, it sets the course of people. It can change people's lives forever. Your words can change your life forever. And especially if you make a habit of saying these things. And I'm going to have a board up in the webinar. I'm going to have some positive affirmations that you can say about yourself. You're strong, you're kind, you're wise, you're bold, you're favored, you're blessed, you're thankful, you're strong, you're honored, you're successful, you're prosperous, you're creative, you're strategic, you're gifted, you're loved, you're celebrated, you're respected. I want you to begin to just take some of those words, if it's not but 5 a day that I just said: strong, kind, wise, bold, favored, blessed, thankful, strong, wise, honored, successful, prosperous, creative, strategic, gifted, loved, celebrated, respected. Even if you say, well, you may say, and sometimes at work or your business, well, I'm not a tech savvy person. I am strategic. I am technically confident. Keep saying it. After a while, you're going to believe it. You're going to be comfortable getting in front of the computer. You're going to be comfortable doing tests or whatever technical challenges you may have. So you're going to pour out your heart in this webinar. Psalm 62:8 says, trust in him at all times. People, pour out your heart before him. God is a refuge for us. So think of it as pouring out your heart to God, trusting him with your words, because with your words, they bring power. With your words will change the trajectory of your atmosphere. And of course, sometimes our feelings may get the best of us. Well, you know, that's fine and dandy what you're saying, but I really don't feel that way, and my circumstances are not saying that, so I don't know how this is going to affect. Actually, when you're saying what the negative thing that I just gave an example of, that's shifting or solidifying the negativity in the atmosphere, actually. But when you change it around and says, I don't care how the circumstances look, I do not have a spirit of fear. I can face this giant. I am confident. I get rid of every fear. I release it. And I am going to be confident. I do have hope to get this goal done and get this accomplished. I'm worth the goal. I'm worth everything that needs to be done to get the goal. And just remember that your goal is greater than your struggle, but the struggle can be so rough. I know the struggle can really try to talk you out of what you're desiring to do. But I just say to you, be encouraged. And the first step is being kind to yourself and making a conscious effort to write down some things about you that are positive. Write down your expression, your feelings, those negative feelings that you pushed away. Writing them down, getting those filtered out, getting those processed, come to terms with them. Coming eyeball to eyeball and toe to toe with those things. Not being afraid to take control of those things so they don't take control over you. Being able to shift and replace those things with positive things about yourself. Everything that you have need is on the inside of you. You just have to speak it. You have to believe it. You have to write it. You have to continue to write it. It's not just a one-day thing. You have to continually be intentional about writing it. And I guarantee you it will shift and change your atmosphere. And I'm not telling you anything that I have not experienced and overcome. I'll give you a perfect example. I had several goals set out, and of course some opposition came in, and immediately, the familiar spirit of doubt or discouragement tries to creep in, and it's so subtle and familiar, like out of the blue. And then I had to remind myself, I have strong, and I began to say, I have strong value and self-worth. Repeat after me. Someone put that on the screen. Say, I have strong value and self-worth. And I begin to say that, and I begin to get confident and encouraged. And then all of a sudden, the atmosphere began to change, because then I was motivated to stay my course and stay focused on my goal irregardless. And then those feelings of fear or doubt, intimidation or discouragement, they were nowhere to be found, because I built up, I took the tolerance level from it. When people take medication, if they take it for so long, they're going to need a higher dose because they build up a tolerance level. Sometimes we build up a tolerance level for fear, intimidation, opposition, discouragement, frustration, and we allow those things to come in. And then when we have a desire to be encouraged and to be motivated and to be determined, all those negative emotions and feelings and mindsets have pushed them out, and you haven't been able to make room for it. There's a song by, I think his name is Jonathan Nelson, I Will Make Room, where he talks about, I think on his album cover, he has he's sitting in a living room and he has all these furniture. He pushes it back and there's just a whole bunch of room, and he's saying, well, he'll make room for the Lord. He'll have his schedule and all those things that are cluttering, that are opposing his goal and his plan and his charge and trying to stop his confidence, are going to be pushed out the way. And so that's what I encourage you. Hello, thanks for coming in. Invite your followers in the networks. I'm Sparkle Smith. I'm a writer. I teach you and those you serve through writing and education. If you click on the link on my bio, you'll be invited to, I'll send you an email, and you'll be invited to Planning to Heal webinar. Again, that's going to be an environment where you're going to feel comfortable about writing how you feel, starting the process. If you're a beginner of the writing of how you feel, starting that process, and beginning that process, you'll have an encouragement. I'll be your cheerleader. I'll give you encouragement. I'll give you some tips on how to do it. And then we'll have another webinar after that where I'll check back in to see how your process or progress is. So start getting a good notebook, a good pen. If you want to get even a planner, a pocket planner, a yearly annual planner where it has all the dates of the calendar, I'll get that too. And in the webinar, I'll share with you why that's important. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I'll be back before the week is over to give you more details about the webinar, but please sign up by clicking the link on my bio and completing that information. I will email you details about the webinar, the time, the date, and all of that. If you want to, if you're planning to heal, if you want to know how to come to terms with your emotions and not be afraid of your emotions and not be afraid of processing them, whether it's negative emotions or positive emotions. If you want the better you, to lay the foundation, and if you want to start having victory in your mind day after day after day after day, and create habits of victory in your mind and create habits of healing, you don't want to miss this webinar. Thank each and every one of you for coming in. I bless you, followers, replay viewers. I thank you so much for coming in. God bless each and every one of you. Click on the link on my bio again and sign up for the upcoming webinar, Planning to Heal. It's free. It will change your life. And I thank each and every one of you coming in. I will be back before the week is out to give you more details about the webinar, but please sign up. It is a free webinar at this time. And I want to help you to have victory in your mind and to heal through writing. Thank each and every one of you for coming in. You have an awesome night. Good night.